The next topic is communication in present day with regard to primates, human and non-human. Primates communicate to satisfy their biological and social needs, such as avoiding predators, interacting with one another, group members, or maintaining cohesion during travel. The primate, they basically communicate with multiple mechanisms, with multiple channels. They communicate with smell, sound, visual messages, as well as touching. Now, the non-human primates, they rely heavily on the body language with regards to communication, whereas human use oral communication a lot as a primary medium of communication. Oral language or oral speech, you can say, when it comes to communicate with each other. Why they do this, the communication? Basically, they do it to maintain the social relationship or develop social bond. And you would see these primates, with regard to the development, they are very particular about developing social bonds or maintaining social bond. They would sit close to each other and they would try to calm down the other member, especially after some kind of aggressive outburst and all that. The idea is to maintain or develop or strengthen the social bonds. Apes are larger and have larger brain. They rely a lot on their body language, and they are also seen to work on maintaining the social bond. They have been observed to display affiliative behavior, which is primarily concerned with developing of social relationship, because apes, they live in a tightly social unit, and their body language basically reflect a lot on the part of their interaction with their group members and how they work on sitting next to them, try to calm them, try to sort of be there with them. So it's not only this developing of social bond is not only specific to humans, but we also see apes who do the same thing. So especially group members or maintaining cohesion during travel. So for example, chimpanzees sometimes bristle hair during conflicts, which makes them appear bigger and more dangerous and convey their willingness to escalate. So you see that they use different ways, different type of body language to express their feelings, express or respond to certain threat or respond to certain danger. So their mechanism is body language, whereas in humans you see that body language is a part of their communication, is one part of communication, but primarily they use language or oral speech to convey their messages. Animal communication systems are both interesting and impressive, but very limited in what they are able to express. Some animals seem to talk to each other. This is also an interesting phenomena, which actually leads people to believe that because we cannot understand animals, they may have a language as complex as ours. Yet, this is not in fact the case. We are, however, able to research and uncover much of what animals express to each other. So this is something that we can research, and people have been able to come up with the findings based on these studies. For example, you may have heard that bees can do a communicative dance to convey the approximate location and even the general ability of a food source. Bees, however, have no options to talk, but we know this because of experiments that made honeybees walk back to their nests. These bees described how long they traveled to get home, including a very far away food source. Then we have displacement. Human beings can talk of real or imaginary situations, places or objects far removed from their present surroundings and time. Other animals, on the other hand, communicate in reaction to a stimulus in the immediate environment, such as food or danger. Because of this, human language is considered context-free. Whereas animal communication is mostly context-bound. The primary difference is known as duality of patterning or structure. Each human language has fixed number of sound units called phonemes. Now these phonemes are combined to make morphemes, which is, we all know, the smallest unit of sound and contains meaning. Thus, language has got two levels of patterning that are not present in other animals' communication, which is phonemes and morphemes. Another important difference is that human language is culturally transmitted. Human beings brought up in different cultures acquire different languages. Man can also learn other languages via the influence of other cultures. Now, animals, they lack this capacity. Their communication ability is transmitted biologically, so they are unable to learn other languages. Then the last but not the least is creativity. Now, this is yet another distinctive feature, and the feature is of creativity. Human beings are more creative. They use their linguistic resources to produce new expressions and sentences. They rearrange and arrange phonemes, morphemes, words, and phrases in ways that can express basically an infinite number of ideas. This is called the open-endedness of language. Animal communication is a closed system as compared to human communication system. It cannot produce new signals to communicate novel events or experiences. But in the case of human, you can see that the modifications can be done, changes can be made, generative grammar can be seen, more and more expressions can be produced, and that reflects creativity on the part of human communication. Hence, primates use a range of different signals to communicate that satisfy their biological as well as their social needs.